My free full spectrum 3D printing tool, Primed3D, just got another big update, introducing some new features which many of you have been asking for, along with some general improvements and bug fixes which I'm sure you'll be glad to see. Today I'll take you through what's new in Primed3D and how it'll help you supercharge your prints. So, let's take a look. In the last public version, I introduced the Increase Resolution tool, allowing you to subdivide the triangles of your imported model, giving you a better canvas for far more detailed painting, and allowing you to even project photos onto the flat side of a cube. This was a great addition, allowing you to apply far more detail to your models in areas that weren't really suitable before. However, subdividing the entire model can cause issues, especially if it already had a lot of triangles. Even an object like a benchy, which is a very simple object, has a lot of triangles in and around the hull. In version 0.9.5.1, as well as being able to subdivide the entire model, you can now select which areas of the model you want to subdivide, allowing you to maximize resolution in the areas that matter without having to subdivide areas that don't need it. If you're used to working on longer projects on your computer, whether it be CAD or video editing or Photoshop or music, you've probably got an itchy trigger finger, saving your work as often as possible. I'm excited to say Primed3D now allows you to save and load projects. You can save a project by hitting the Save button below the Process button. This creates a .primed3D file that you can save to your computer. If you want to load it again in the future, you can import it in the same way that you import an STL, 3MF or OBJ by clicking here and selecting your project. This doesn't just load your pre-painted model, but it also retains your project's history, allowing you to undo things that you've done before saving using Ctrl or Command Z. A small new feature, but one that I think will bring a sigh of relief to many, is this little button up here. The navigation controls in Primed3D are right-click and drag to rotate, scroll in and out to zoom in and out, and left-click to paint. To pan, the control is middle-click and drag, but for those of us working on a laptop or using mice without a middle button, this can be an infuriating lack of control. So I've now introduced an on-screen pan button. If you left-click and drag this button, you can pan around your object without needing a middle mouse button. So far, all Primed3D exports, when exporting with dithered colour lines, have been processed for printing at 0.08mm layer height. But the thinner the layer lines, the better the CMY effect is, so I've now introduced the ability to select a 0.06mm layer height for exporting. This can allow you to retain more detail in your photos, and dither colour lines will blend more smoothly at closer distances. It's important to note though that due to the way that these print, not only will this drastically increase your print time, but it's really important that you have your printer, along with the filaments that you're going to be using, really well tuned and dialed in before choosing this option. As well as the new features, there's also been some improvements, such as with the photo projection tool, you can now select the area of the model that you want to apply the photo to before you import the image, meaning you're not having to work around a photo floating on the screen while you do that. I've also improved the general viewport rendering. Previously, if you painted one part of your model, you may see a faint bleed of that colour in completely different parts of the model, or a bleed of the base colour within the painted area. And you'd also get some white fuzzy glow over detailed models when in the pre-process view. That has now been completely resolved in this latest version, and you don't get the colour bleed or the fuzzy white glow. Finally, a big bug fix. In previous versions, there was an issue where Prusa Slicer and Orca Slicer wouldn't recognise the colour data when importing a 3MF, which had been processed in solid colour mode. That issue has now been fixed, and the painting is now recognised in Bamboo Studio, Orca Slicer, and Prusa Slicer. While the colours are mapped correctly in Bamboo Studio, you may find that you need to assign each of the colours in Orca Slicer and Prusa Slicer to the correct colours. But the actual painting on the geometry is there, so you just need to swap one colour for another. You also want to make sure in Orca Slicer that the correct number of filaments is set for the amount of colours that you've used, otherwise it may ignore some of the colours when importing. Other than some small bug fixes and tweaks, that's it for this new version of Primed3D, but it may excite some of you to know that in the closed beta version I've now introduced a new painting mode. Rather than printing with CMY filaments, it allows you to enter exactly which filaments you've got available to you, and then allows you to paint your model with those colours. Paint the model with any colour achievable through a blend of those colours, and the ability to create gradients between the specific colours that you've got. Early access beta versions of Primed3D with new unreleased features are available to all of my Patreon supporters and my YouTube channel members of certain tiers. If you'd like access to the beta version, you can support me on my Patreon via the link below, and also get yourself early access to my videos, member exclusive content and more. Or if you'd prefer, hit join below in my videos and check out the different member tiers. If you've been using Primed3D for a while, let me know how you're finding it in the comments below. And if you've got an idea for a new feature, please give me your suggestions. Since launching Primed3D, the feedback I've received has played a massive role in its development, so please do keep that coming. If you're finding Primed3D helpful or useful or just interesting, please do pop me a like and a hype, it makes a huge difference, and subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos and updates. As always, thanks very much everyone, and until next time, happy printing. A huge thank you to my revolutionaries, my Patreons and channel members for your support. For now, why not pop on one of my other videos to learn something new or just have some fun. Thanks very much everyone, and until next time, happy printing.